Being a photographer on YouTube involves handling every part of the production process. From the pre-production, the organization of your ideas and your planning of your videos, to the out in the field filmmaking, the actual photo taking, the photo editing, video editing, and of course, the countless number of times that you have to walk back to get your camera when you're out filming. It's a lot of times going back to get your camera, but I wouldn't trade it for a thing. For quite a long time, I actually wanted to make a YouTube channel, specifically a photography-based YouTube channel. For years, I never took the leap of actually making a video because I had these misconceptions in the back of my mind that for whatever reason, it was too late to start a channel, that the space on YouTube for photography was oversaturated, or that the first video I would have to make had to be this perfect product, that I had to have it all figured out from the start. And that's totally not true, or at least those shouldn't be things holding you back from starting a YouTube channel in 2022. It's definitely not too late to start a YouTube channel, and for most people, that's actually the hardest part, starting. But for what it's worth, I still don't have everything figured out. I'm still trying to find ways to work more efficiently, so hopefully I can shed a little bit of light on that in today's video. This will be a 3-part series on how I make YouTube videos. This first part being focused on pre-production and the organization of everything. The second part focusing on filmmaking, and the third part focusing on how I edit, color grade, find music, etc. All right, grab a drink. This might be a long one. I hope this isn't that long. When you first start a YouTube channel, having some consistency on when you upload goes a long way. You're new to the space, not a lot of people know who you are, so you want to have at least some consistency with your uploads. You don't have to upload at the same day, at the same hour. Personally, I try to upload every Friday, but even sometimes I don't get around to that. So just try to have a goal to upload at least once a week. I think that's a good starting point. However, having that consistency with your uploading requires a bit of efficient working, because you're not going to be able to upload on a consistent basis if your process and how you make videos is all over the place. So you do need to have some organization, and that's going to help you work efficiently. And that's definitely key for me and my channel. I need to stay on top of all the different projects I'm working on. And if you're making stuff for YouTube, more likely than not, you're working on multiple videos at once. So it's important to have a better understanding of all of those things. And so at the center of all of this is a tool that I use to stay organized, and that's Milanote. Now, they are sponsoring this video, but how I use this tool and my thoughts on Milanote are all personal to me. So thanks to them for supporting the channel, and just for being a really awesome tool that lets me just control my mind, I guess you could say, because my mind's kind of all over the place, but you'll see in a minute how I can organize it all together. I should also mention it's completely free to get started in Milanote, so feel free to download it and follow along with me. All right, so when you first open up Milanote, you're going to see something like this empty space here. This is called a board, and boards sort of act as folders, similar to how you use a folder on a computer. Right now it's empty, but you can drag things from the toolbar here to the left. So I can take a note, I can start writing, I can bring out links, I can bring out to-do lists, and I can also bring out lines to connect different things to each other to show how things relate to one another. You also have another board, so if you think of it as a folder, right, you can call this photography. Milanote will make this little icon here for you, and you can actually change it to whatever you really want. You can even do camera here, and little icons for cameras pop up. You can also change the color. There's a bunch of customization you can do, so you can really color coordinate things to better organize how things are. So I made this board here, and if I click into it, it brings me to a whole other empty board to work with. So this can really go on for infinity, and you can have boards within boards within boards. It can be really sophisticated, which is pretty cool because you start from scratch, but you can really build it out to however you want. Milanote also has a bunch of custom templates, pre-made templates for any kind of project you can really think of. I can show you here. I can open this new board here, and here to the bottom right, you have an option to choose a bunch of different templates. So, things from creative briefs, mood boards, a project plan, which is pretty cool. I actually have a custom template I made for my YouTube videos and my workflow, so I'll show you that in a little bit. But for now, I want to keep showing you the different things you can add to a board. You have columns here. These are pretty much an easy way to group things together. So say you have things that are kind of connected to each other. You can just have them under a single column. And there's also collaboration features. So say someone else was working on this project with me, I can have an easy way to communicate different ideas with them with the comments. But yeah, I think the best way to describe Milanote is by using the analogy of a whiteboard. But this whiteboard is digital and it goes on for infinity. When you can see all the things that are in your mind visually, it's just easier to organize those thoughts and really start to build out your project. And as a creative, as a visual thinker, that's incredibly valuable. And you're going to see in a minute how valuable it is for organizing my YouTube production. Without this kind of organization, it's all going down the tank. All right, so this is my main board for my YouTube production. It sort of acts as a landing page for all things related to how I make videos. So let me just run you through it real quick. Here on the top, I have a basic to-do list. Nothing's on it right now, but this is just a general task list for things for the YouTube channel. Maybe it's to send certain emails out, etc. But below it, I have the video tracker, and this is super key for me. It's an easy way for me to visually see where everything stands in the production process. So, videos usually start in the writing phase, then they go on to the filming phase, the editing phase, and then they're scheduled to go live on YouTube or be reviewed by a sponsor, and then they get published. And here I also have a board for an archive. That way, once this starts to fill up, I can drag things into the archive folder, or board, sorry. So this is really crucial for me to just visually see everything and have a better understanding of what I'm working on. And to the bottom here, I have a couple of different sections. I have a brainstorm area. This is where ideas that may or may not become an actual video I make, they start to form here. So I say I have an idea of making a video on street portraits. That gets thrown here in the video ideas section, and if it becomes something I want to make, I'll bring it up into the writing phase. We're going to keep it there for now, and I'll go back to that later when I show you how I work on a video from start to finish. Back to the brainstorm area, I have video concepts. I have a little mood board here with the inspiration, and I have 2 video concepts I want to explore on my channel. So you could say this is where the process starts for me, in this brainstorm area, and then when it becomes, like I said before, something I want to make, it goes into the video tracker. And then to the right of the brainstorm area, I have this little section called clipboard, and here I have my SEO tags and description links. These are 2 things that with every video I copy and paste into the published video. So SEO tags, YouTube is a primarily search engine optimized sort of platform, so it really relies on what people are looking for. These are basically keywords. They're general to different things I've talked about in the past, certain cameras, etc. When you go into YouTube Studio, you have a area where you can throw tags in. That's where these get copy and pasted in. In here, I have a description clipboard. This consists of all the different affiliate links to different gear I use, my other social media handles, my Lightroom presets. This gets pasted into the description of pretty much every one of my videos. And to the right, I have a little area for sponsors. And when you go into each one of these boards, it just brings you to different information related to that sponsor and working with them. So that's useful for me to refer to, and I keep that here. All right, so that was a pretty fast explanation of everything here, but it's actually kind of simple when you look at it. I've seen a lot of people who have used Milanote in the past, and they might actually make each one of these different areas their own board, like one of these things, and you would click into it. But personally, I wanted to have it all on one board. That way I could see everything together. Being able to do this, make it the way I want it to be, the way that works for me, is just one of the awesome things about Milanote. The next major part of this are the many different boards for each video I'm working on. So the example we've been working with was this video I made called Street Portraits. It started in the brainstorm area, but now it's become something I actually want to make a video on. So it goes into the writing phase. Let's just quickly change this icon and let's make it something related to portraits. And we can choose this little icon here. Cool. So when we go into it, it's going to be blank, but I actually have a custom template I've made for working on a video. So we can go into the templates area, find custom templates, and I have a template called video template. And you can see here, this is basically what I start with for every video. For the sake of this video, I'm going to show you how I build this out from scratch. That way you get more familiar with what it's like working in Milanote. Cool, so I'm going to first drag out a column here, and I'm going to make this column for my thumbnail. I'm also going to add a placeholder, and you can just drag that into this column here. And this is going to be where I upload my working thumbnail for the video. And this might change over time. I'm going to drag another column out here and call this video details. And here I'm going to have several stuff. So one of those first being a note for the due date. Another note for who the sponsor is, and another note for hashtags. I'm also going to drag in a document, actually two documents. The first one being a video description. That's the description that goes on every video that you see on YouTube. And then another document that is for the video script. And I'll talk a bit more about video scripts later on in the video. For now, I'm going to drag a to-do list. And this to-do list is going to be titled task list. This is going to be a general task list for the things that need to be done for this video, depending on whatever phase I'm in. Another task list is going to be dragged out here as well, but this is going to be called a shot list. And this is for all the different types of B-roll shots I might need to go out and collect for this video. If you go out to shoot with no clear vision of what you actually want to get, it just becomes inevitable that you have to go out another time to get that shot that you missed or forgot. So this is super easy to access here, and I can add to this as I progress through the script and brainstorm ideas. Speaking of brainstorming and ideas, here in the bottom, I'll make an area for notes and space for me to outline everything and how I want this video to be. Cool. All right, that looks awful, but we can fix that later. I like to have a column here and call this video title brain dump. I want to have as many different possibilities or different ideas for what a video title could be. And I'll just throw those in here. I'm also going to drag out a board here, and I don't usually use this for every video, but we can call this a mood board. All right, so over time, this little section here might build out. I might have different notes for, location. I might have a note on music. So that's the basic structure to the board specific for videos. Cool, so this street portraits video is in the writing phase, right? So we can pop this up. This is the video script, and this is where my ideas start to come to life. I kind of spill out my ideas through writing, and it just adds to the efficient workflow of making videos on YouTube. When it comes to filming A-roll, I don't want to be rambling to the camera, going on tangents, and not having a clear vision of how this video is going to come out, I kind of want to have already in my mind, already know how the video is going to come out when I'm talking to the camera. That way I have a much clearer way of delivering what I want to say. It also saves me so much time when it comes to editing the A-roll. There's less cutting things out, things that make no sense, or rearranging things I said to make it make sense. There's a lot less of that when you write out how the video is going to play out. All right, so say as I write this video script out, a few ideas pop up in my mind. Say I want to do a little GoPro POV section, and that's going to have a voiceover. And that's just going to talk about, how I'm approaching shooting street portraits. And that's a little idea I have. Say I have an idea for the kind of music I want in this, say maybe some jazz and classical, a mix of the two. Let's say I want to shoot in the Boston Commons. That can also be a B-roll location, downtown crossing. So I have some ideas for where I want to do the filming, ideas on the music, and I know that I want to do some GoPro POV for this video as well. And maybe I have an idea that I want to have a cinematic montage where I have a video portrait followed by the photo portrait. I think that would be a cool little thing to throw in the video as well. And maybe I have a title idea. Maybe I call it A Simple Guide to Taking Portraits on the Street. So these are the kind of things that naturally might pop up in my mind while I'm writing out the video script. And it's easy for me to keep these ideas together and be able to see them and work with them. When this video script is finally finished and ready for me to, relay that kind of information to the camera, I want to make sure I have a finalized B-roll shot list. That way I can move on to the filming phase and have this filled out as much as I can. Realistically, this would have some stuff already here as I was writing the video script. People walking, video portraits, ambient, landscape. This would not be enough or a good guideline for me to go out filming with, just 3 points, but you get the idea. Also, in this task list, since we were in the writing phase, I'd ideally have one of these finish script and finish or finalize shot list. So let's say I finished both of those things. We can go to the workspace area and move this over to the filming phase. We can change the color here. And now at this point, I'm pretty much done with pre-production. It's a matter of going out and getting the B-roll shots I need, filming the A-roll, and then moving on to the editing portion where I work in Final Cut Pro. But that's not to say that's the end of me using Milanote. I continue to use Milanote throughout that process because this is where all my ideas are laid out for me. I can see the different things that I need to do with a task list and stay on top of everything. That pretty much summarizes how I do pre-production for YouTube. Honestly, I think this is kind of a simple approach to doing it. You can be a lot more sophisticated, a lot more in-depth in how you use Milanote for organization. Personally, I find too much organization kind of holds me back. I kind of want to have something that's simple, something that is inviting for me to go into. I use a lot of color here. Yeah, it's pretty cool how you can make your own Milanote board as organized as you want it to be. You're not confined to a pre-built structure that, a lot of other note-taking apps already have set for you. You can really have it however you want to be and work for your brain, because we all work differently. And, it's important you're working in a space that responds to the way you think. So I hope you found this video helpful and offered a little insight into how I approach pre-production for YouTube. This is only part one. The next part will be focusing on filmmaking, and then the third part focusing on post-production, how I edit in Final Cut Pro, how I color grade, and make a video come to life. Huge thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.